the biz.
Good morning. What's up? What's the biz followers? And welcome back to another episode of Empower Huddle. I'm your host, Nika Dorsey. And this week we are going to discuss the big P word, which is procrastination. I just want to remind you guys that Empower Huddle is a show that is about embracing your journey through professional and personal development. So any little nuggets and tools we can pass your way to take along with you throughout the weeks coming, the months, the years, to put them in your back pocket, to take them out whenever you need. That's what we're about. We're about talking about overcoming challenges. We're about mental health empowerment, community empowerment, youth empowerment, and especially cultural empowerment. So all things empowered. And today, again, we're going to be discussing procrastination. It's something that we all struggle with from time to time, right? It's no doubt we struggle with it in various ways. And we don't realize, too, that procrastination is very harmful to our personal growth as well as our professional growth. So it isn't something that we should take lightly, but it is something that we can use, and we can find different strategies to help us overcome procrastination and ultimately help us with our journey to being successful. And it seems so easy to procrastinate, right? I'll get to it later, or I'll get to it when I have time. That's usually our comfort words that we get to, not realizing that actually does cause us more stress and more anxiety when we just don't do it at that moment, right? So anyways, I'm going to share some tips with you and some tools with how to beat procrastination. And these are things that I've implemented personally that has helped me along my journey to just get stuff done, get crap done, get it done when you think about it, right? So the first thing that I jotted down here was to set clear goals. You guys have heard me talk about setting like SMART goals, with work, and it just helps just to keep in line on prioritizing what's important, so that way you can get to what needs to be done and you can actually finish it. So breaking down things into smaller tasks and to manageable goals. So when we have a clear idea of what we need to accomplish, it's easier to get started, right? Creating a schedule is also something that is so vital, and also something that helps me manage my time better, and also not procrastinate. I live and breathe from a calendar, and with my calendar comes an alarm with that different task. So calendar, I send invites even to like my husband when there's things that we need to get done, or that's, appointments that he needs to attend with me, just allocating specific time slots for each task or activity, and having a schedule helps me stay organized. I have my bills on the calendar. I have appointments, obviously, work, personal, any little thing that will help me stay organized. You can rest assured it's going on my calendar. As well as using like timers, like I said, for the alarms, timers, deadlines, right? Each timer, not so much timing, but the timers, but the alarms. The alarms are so helpful. So with the alarms, setting like realistic deadlines for each task as well, so that everything doesn't become an emergency, right? Because there's so many things that we want to get done. There's so many things that take priority. And I'm really speaking to myself too, as far as prioritizing what needs to get done, prioritizing what is an emergency and what can actually wait for either the following week or either the following months to come, because not everything needs to be done right when you think it needs to be done. And that's something that I actually had to learn. Eliminating distractions is huge. This is something that I pray for every morning, that I don't get distracted, and I set to what I say I'm going to do that day. So distractions come in many different forms throughout the day. Someone else's lack of planning on their end can constitute an emergency on your part, which that could be ultimately a distraction. Stick to your plan, stick to your alarm, stick to your calendar, stick to your tasks, and eliminate as many distractions as you can. And then even if you're in the workplace, finding a quiet area where you can actually just zone in and get your work done. Just because your phone rings, someone's calling, needing something, doesn't mean that you actually have to get to that at that point. Obviously, there are certain times where things are on fire and you need to address it. But if it doesn't have anything to do with what you've got going on in that moment, it's really just a distraction, and you're not going to get whatever it is that you need to get done at that moment finished. The next one we have is, we talked about prioritizing the tasks. We talk about breaking tasks into smaller steps. So I don't know if you're anything like me, everything is really, really big in that moment. So I've learned to break tasks down little by little, so that way I can get things done quicker. Whether it be like, okay, I have to start budgeting for the month. Budgeting is huge for me. So it's like, it could be overwhelming too. You have all these things that you have to get done. You have all these things you got to get paid. You have all these things that need attention, and it could be quite overwhelming. But what I do is I break them down by the week sometimes, and this is just using budgeting as an example. Breaking them down into smaller tasks by week, sometimes even just day by day. Okay, well, this doesn't really have to get paid now, so I can push it out a week without, getting a late fee or whatever the case is. Just breaking tasks into smaller steps, it definitely helps stay on course, and it helps not to procrastinate not to fall into getting into that procrastination mode. And also, after doing all of this, after working on a system that works for you, that eliminates procrastination, reward yourself. Reward yourself by, setting up a system of rewards for completing tasks or reaching different milestones, right? I like to reward myself. So it just gives you a sense of accomplishment. And, maybe you don't need it all the time, but whatever it is that helps you feel accomplished, do that. Everybody needs rewards every now and then. And then also practice self-compassion, because it's easy to say like, I need to stop procrastinating, or I'm a huge procrastinator. But practicing self-compassion, don't be too hard on yourself. And sometimes we do slip up, and sometimes procrastination creeps up, but give yourself some grace. Instead of dwelling on the past procrastination, focus on what you can do differently in the future. And then also, this one is huge. Everybody doesn't like to hear it, but accountability, guys. Accountability is huge, and it really plays a factor in everything. Holding yourself accountable to what you say you're going to get done. So the best way I like to do this is either communicate with a friend, or communicate with my husband, or communicate with somebody, just letting them know, or a colleague, hey, I need you as my accountability partner. I have an accountability partner at work. We're great at checking in with each other on doing things we say we're going to do. Hey, I want to do this. Check back in with me in 3 weeks to make sure, just ask about my progress on it, right? That's a good way of keeping yourself accountable. And you can also join a study group, or you can find a productivity buddy. I love productivity buddies as well, just to help you stay focused, right? And just in conclusion, guys, procrastination hinders your productivity on every level, and it affects every aspect of your life. Start the business, right? Start the workout plan, start eating healthy, whatever it is that you've been putting off and saying you will get to it later. The problem is still going to be there. And that's the thing we tell ourselves, is that we're just going to get to it later. And that really just creates a bigger problem for us. So just do it now. I love Nike's slogan, and that is just do it. That always sticks with me. Every time I talk myself out of doing something, I think of Nike's slogan, which is just do it. And it really does help me. And I like how it's just so simple, but very, very powerful, those 3 words, just do it. And it's so funny because procrastination actually takes work not to procrastinate, which is, it's kind of weird when you think about it. It's like, okay, I actually have to work not to procrastinate, but that's really what procrastination means. But breaking the habit of procrastination really takes time and effort. So just be patient with yourself as you work towards becoming better productive. I am Nika Dorsey. Thanks for rocking with me this morning, and I hope you feel empowered on not procrastinating this week. Talk to you guys later.